Appreciate all of you being here. Delighted to welcome into the program the Commissioner of the Southeastern Conference, Greg Sankey. Commissioner, thank you very much, and certainly we all hope your family and your extended family as well.
Thank you, Paul. It's good to be back with you. In some ways, it seems like I was just on. In many other ways, it seems like eons ago.
Everyone knows how important this situation is right now in our country and globally, and I don't want anybody to think these questions are making light of that, but I know you get these questions every day, and I know the answers are not easy. What could you tell us in terms of leading us forward?
I have said when asked, and those questions came the day after we said no competition for the spring. So that was Tuesday, and then Wednesday on a media call, the questions about media days. Actually, it's destined media days, and then the fall started to come. And what I've observed is I don't know is a perfectly good answer right now. We can't stay in I don't know, but we're learning. There is no manual for what we're walking through. But as I look, we'll start to next season, our focus is on fully preparing. We have to adapt our preparation methods. And then we're going to need to get through this current cycle of the public health concerns. Our leaders, our researchers, our scientists have to help us both learn and prepare for living with this virus that's upon us. Then you go back into when can you start preparing for the fall from a team standpoint. You get the media days earlier. And so our focus is on preparing, but also are in the beginning stages of contingency planning. And what those contingencies look like, I don't know, but I think what we've experienced in the last 2 weeks suggests that we have a responsibility to prepare for a set of unknowns.
Greg Sankey, the SEC Commissioner, joining us. Certainly someone who has been on the front line is our next guest, Willie Geist, who, of course, on every morning on Morning Joe. He's the host of Sunday Today in New York. Willie, thank you very much for making time. I know it's a crazy time in all of our lives. First of all, how are you and your family in New York?
We're doing okay, Paul. Appreciate the time with you. I wish we were talking about bandy baseball or something like that, but we're good. The kids are out of school till God knows when. They say April 20th in New York City, but I think most of us are expecting probably to be out longer than that. It's pretty wild, as all the parents in your listening audience have realized as well. We're all kind of in the same boat across the country.
Willie, I watched you yesterday morning. You're a professional. You've done so many breaking news stories where you've had to go into a gear that you're certainly equipped to, but you don't want to ever go into. This story, though, what's it like?
Well, I have to say it's gotten stranger by the day because a lot of companies, a lot of workplaces, we've got more and more cases and people who are testing positive for coronavirus. And so I'm going into the office. It helps when you're sort of the lone host in the studio and maybe one other person in there with you. But, what we do and what you do is such a collaborative experience, and you're used to sitting next to people and coming up with ideas and quickly getting questions answered. And all of a sudden, it's just you sitting there. And we do our best. We're on video conference and we're on the phone and we're doing all that, but we've encouraged most of our staff to stay home. That you can't completely put on a TV show without having people there. So we've got a director in the control room and a couple of producers spread out. And then I'm sort of out there on an island doing the show.
Always look forward to our conversations with Archbishop Joseph Marino. We last talked to him right before Christmas. Things are a little bit different today. He has arrived at his new post in Rome. The country, sadly, is on lockdown. Archbishop Marino, thank you very much for being with us. What is the situation where you are?
Well, the situation is still difficult in Italy, even though the news tonight said there's a small light shining at the end of the tunnel as the numbers of the new cases were a little less than yesterday. It means that this is working and that eventually not only Italy but everyone in the world get out of it. We're social creatures and most of our life is to be with people. But right now, we cannot be.
At a time like this, those who enjoy Sunday or whatever day they go to Mass or synagogue or church, part of it is being with your friends. Part of it is being with your neighbors. Now we're doing this online. I know it's 2020, but it's still rather difficult, it would seem.
Yes, it's very difficult because Sunday is a special day for so many people, believers of all faiths. And it was very difficult here when the Pope suspended all public functions in the Vatican, his own Mass. It's definitely difficult for the people, especially, the churches that we have like communion, and it's so important for our faith. we have to be patient. We know that this will be over, and the day when we are back to church or back to the synagogue or wherever we go to worship, it'll be a time of really thanksgiving to God.